Namaste. Today I'm going to be telling you some funny stories. But these stories do have messages in them. I'm not going to tell you those messages. You, the children, have to discuss with your parents about the message in each of the stories and then write in with the messages to Vivekananda Cultural Center on their email ID. Will you do that? I hope you do. Mulla Nasruddin was a wise man who lived in Turkey. One day, he was coming back to his village after finishing some work in another village. It was super hot, just like it is in Chennai during the season of May. He had walked only half the distance before he began to feel hot, sweaty, and tired. So he decided to rest under a tree. He looked around. He found a big walnut tree, its branches spreading out and so much of shade to offer. So he made his way towards that tree, sat down, rested his back against the trunk of the tree, removed his turban, and began to fan himself. He looked up. Small walnut fruits were hanging from the branches of the tree. He looked around, and at a short distance, he spotted the weak pumpkin plant with big pumpkin fruits ready to be plucked. A thought came to Mulla Nasruddin. Oh, nature, how strange you are. Such a big walnut tree and such small fruits of the walnut. And look at that weak pumpkin plant. It cannot even stand up on its own, but it is having such big pumpkin fruits on it. Wouldn't it have been nice if this walnut tree had such big fruits and that pumpkin plant so weak had smaller fruits? No sooner had he thought about this than top! A walnut fell on his head. Ouch! He looked up and then he looked at the pumpkins. If what I had said had happened, then that big pumpkin would have fallen on my head if the walnut tree had a fruit as big as the pumpkin. Nature, you certainly know your ways much better than any human being, said Mullah to himself. Now he got up, put his turban on after rubbing his head once again, smiled to himself, and walked towards his home. The second story is a folk tale from Tamil Nadu. Long ago in a village, there was a potter. He had a son. Though he could not earn much money, he had big dreams for his son. In the same village, there lived a very rich oil merchant who had an elephant that he used to lend for marriage processions. This potter had just one dream for his son, that he should educate his son. So he worked day and night on his wheel, making different pots, selling them, and saving all that money. When his son was old enough to go to school, he sent him to school. Then he worked some more and made some more money. The boy was old enough to go to a college close by for higher studies. And the boy was so good, he understood his father's difficulties and he worked hard, he studied well, and he did excellently at school and in college. When he came out of the college, he immediately got a job in the king's palace. The potter was so happy. All his dreams had come true. Now it was time for him to get his son married. So the potter and his wife looked around for a suitable bride for their son. They found one, and the marriage date was fixed. Now the potter had one big dream. He wanted to perform his marriage as grandly as the rich people in the village were doing. They all hired that oil merchant's elephant and took the bride and the bridegroom on the procession after the marriage throughout the village. The potter wanted to do that for his son. So, after the wedding was over, he hired the elephant. The oil merchant, when he saw the potter, he said, 10 gold coins, straight away. Only then you can take the elephant. But I want the elephant by tonight. Do you understand? The potter said, yes, sir. He gave him the 10 gold coins. The oil merchant was surprised. But then money was money. He pocketed the 10 gold coins and allowed the elephant to go with the potter. The potter, with the mahout sitting on the elephant, made his son and daughter-in-law sit on top of the elephant, and he and his wife, along with his relatives, proudly took the elephant around the village. Everything went on perfectly. After the bride and the bridegroom got off the elephant, and the elephant turned its way with the mahout to go back to the oil merchant's house. Dhar! It let out a trumpet so loudly and fell to the ground and died. The potter was shocked. He didn't know what to do. He ran to the oil merchant's house and he said, sir, I don't know. Ask your mahout. I didn't do anything. I don't know what happened, but the elephant died. I'm so sorry. The oil merchant became very angry. How dare you kill my elephant? Sir, I will pay you the money for the cost of the elephant, or I will buy you a new elephant. However I can, I will collect the money and I will please buy you another elephant. But I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry your elephant died. No, none of this will do. I want that elephant only. He was my lucky elephant. If you do not give me the elephant by tomorrow morning, I will drag you to the judge's court. Poor potter came home. He couldn't sleep well that night. How could he bring back a dead elephant to life? What was this oil merchant asking? He was asking the impossible. The next morning, the oil merchant was at his door. "But sir, how can I bring back a dead?" "Come to the court right now with me," said the oil merchant, and he dragged the poor potter to the judge. When the judge heard the case, he was a wise man. He said, "I cannot pass the judgment right away. I'm going to take 2 days. Come to me after 2 days, both of you at 10:30 in the morning." The oil merchant looked at the potter, turned his head and walked out of the court. The poor potter hung his head, dejected. The judge took pity on the poor potter and he called him. He whispered a plan to the potter. The potter looked so relieved. 2 days later, the oil merchant was much before time at the judge's court. The judge sat on his chair doing some work. They waited and waited and waited. 10:45. The oil merchant could not control his anger anymore. "Judge, sir, I will go to that potter's house and I will bring him here. I knew he would not come. I knew that. The judge calmly looked up at the oil merchant and said, "You can't go alone. Take my assistant with you." So the oil merchant and the assistant went to the potter's house. As expected, the potter's front door was shut and bolted. The oil merchant hollered, "Potter, come out! Potter, come out! Where are you hiding?" And he thudded on the door. No noise from inside. The oil merchant's anger well within himself. He could not control it anymore, and it came out in this form. He went back a few steps and charged at the potter's door. Thump! He banged into the door. The door broke open and a number of pots that were behind the door fell down and broke. At that instant, the potter came running from inside his house and he began to cry, "My ancestors' pots! What have you done, O oil merchant? You have broken all my ancestors' pots. Where will I go?" He cried so loudly that all his neighbors came. The oil merchant began to feel scared. I will give you the money. We shall replace your ancestral pots." "No!" cried the potter. "I want only these pots. They were made by my grandfathers. They have been in this family for so long. My ancestors will get very angry with me. What will I do?" "I will take you to the court. You wait. You come to the judge," said the potter. And he took the oil merchant to the judge's court. The judge was waiting for them. "Well, what happened?" And the assistant told him everything that had happened. "Oh, so how are you going to repay the ancestral pots? He wants the same pots." The oil merchant said, "Sir, I told him I will pay for the ancestral pots and I will buy new pots, sir." He is saying like this, "Potter, what do you say?" "No, I want the same ancestral pots." And the judge looked at the oil merchant. "Your elephant? I take back my case. I take back my case. Sir, please tell the potter that I take back my case. I don't want any money for my dead elephant, and please, I want to take back my case. The judge looked at the potter. What do you say, potter? I agree. So, I don't have to pay for the elephant, right? No, you don't have to pay for the elephant. Forget it. Then you don't have to pay for my ancestral pots too. The judge smiled. The case is settled and dismissed, he said. The potter went home a really happy man. It was not his ancestral pottery that was broken. The judge had advised him to do so. There were only a few pots. He knew he could make those pots in just 2 or 3 days' time. And that's how that case was solved. I hope you enjoyed both these stories. Remember, give the message that the story is telling you to VCC by writing into them at their email ID. Until next time, Namaste.
Dear children, Namaste. I hope you're enjoying the videos that we have posted on our YouTube channel so far. If you have any queries on morals, on values, or if you have any doubts on religious practices, you can post your queries to our email ID, that is office@rkmmvcc.org, and we will answer your queries through our YouTube channel. Thank you. Thanks. Namaste.